Good afternoon, everyone. I think I'm the last presentation, so I'll make it nice and quick. Okay, Gladiator Metals. It's a pretty straightforward story. We're going to be reporting a new world-class high-grade copper deposit at the end of the year, and we're right in the middle of drilling that out this year at the moment. So we're listed on the TSX, and our primary and our flagship and our only project is the Whitehorse Copper Project, located in the Yukon in Canada. The project itself was a previous producer. Hudbay operated it from 1967 to 82 from one deposit, mined 10.5 million tonnes at 1.5% copper and almost a gram gold. It was a very good mine for the time, and built the town in Whitehorse. We are targeting over 100 million tonnes at very high grade, scar mineralization, 1 to 2%. And there are a number of near-term prospects that we are working. One of the most advanced is the Cowley Park prospect, which I'll get to, and that's where we will be reporting our resource. And the infrastructure is excellent. So we run along the western margin of Whitehorse City, and we have great highway access, grid power, and excellent mining labour force. So why did I say why did I mention world class? Well, because if you look around, if you look at open pittable, undeveloped, above 40 million tonnes, over 1% copper, there are only 4. And we believe we will be delivering the 5th at the end of the year, and that's at Cowley Park. You'll see that some of them are in difficult jurisdictions. So being located in Canada will be certainly an eye-opener to many. We're recognising here one of our First Nations. Our primary First Nation is the Kwalundun. We came to a capacity agreement with them last year. The Kwalundun have been a fantastic partner so far. We've been working the project over the last 2 years, and they're extremely organised and wealthy and sophisticated, and have the very best in mind for their citizens. Located in the Yukon in Canada, right down the bottom you'll see Gladiator, right near Whitehorse. There's a few names around the top that you'll recognise. So the Yukon really is a fantastic location and extremely well endowed with resources. This map here highlights the belt. The blue is the mineral claims and crown grants that comprise the Whitehorse Copper Belt. You'll see that we have 4 areas highlighted in yellow. These are our key, most advanced prospects, and in particular, right down the bottom, Cowley Park, down here. So Cowley Park is where we plan to deliver our first world-class resource, and Cub Trend, Chiefs Trend and Arctic Chief Trend are all very advanced to deliver resources in the future. Essentially, Hudbay operated from the Little Chief mine. It was an open pit into an underground, and 8.5 of their 10.5 million tonnes process came from Little Chief. But at these highlighted areas in blue and yellow is outcropping skarn. And Hudbay literally would closely spaced drill this outcropping skarn and just rip it out, and never really rose above and had a really good look at what could lie beneath. And that's what we've had the benefit of doing over the last 2 years. And this is why we think that this belt will host over 100 million tonnes of shallow, high-grade, 1 to 2% copper, not including credits. We have a high-grade moly reporting in Cowley in the southern area, and we have the gold reporting up to a gram on average in the middle of the belt. Management team, I'm the CEO and director. I'm actually based in Perth, Western Australia, but everyone else is in Canada. Marcus is our Chief Geologist and President. Kel, our VP of Exploration, both in Whitehorse, and the rest of the team are in Vancouver. We're currently capped at 35 million Canadian, and we have 18 million Canadian cash that will fully fund our exploration and resource definition work this year. We do boast some very highly technical resource specialist funds, in particular Mackenzie Dynamic out of Toronto, but also in Australia we have Macquarie Bank, the metals and mining team, and a Ribco as well. And that's why we've got such a very good cash balance at this present time to advance this project. Here we are going to highlight Cowley Park. So Cowley was originally the next cab off the rank for Hudbay. When we were doing our due diligence in March of 2022, we came across a bunch of dusty old boxes, and in there was over 200 holes sitting in data sheets that had never been digitized. So we did that, we digitized it, looked around, put it in a bit of a model, and realised that initially it looked like there was 15 to 20 million tonnes at 1.5 to 2% copper from surface. This was very exciting, and to me was the cornerstone of this belt. And that is why we came to an agreement with the then vendors, but now partners, H. Coyne and Son. Jim and Rob Coyne are a very successful family business in Whitehorse. They own and run the Kluane drilling business, which is a global drilling company. And the arrangement with them was to spend $12 million over 6 years and issue 15 million shares. I'm pleased to say we've spent 12 million already in 2 years. So we're very close to exercising that option and owning the whole project 100%. But what we have found is Cowley Park is going to be a lot bigger than what those original old dusty records had shown. And what it really is going to be a world-class, high-grade copper deposit at surface, over 40 million tonnes. This here is a map showing you in plan. You'll see 4 lines. It might be hard to see, but there were 4 lines of drilling drilled in the second half of last year. We did that drilling to give us the confidence in the historic holes that we saw from Hudbay, some of the previous drilling by our partner, and to give us the opportunity to raise the money to move towards resource definition. They came up very successful, and you can see that there was some very high-grade intercepts towards the end of last year, but also the deposit boasts some amazing widths and grade. Too many to read out at once. That's how impressive they are. But all in all, that's why it's going to be delivering one of the top 3 or 4 high-grade open pit or at surface above 40 million tonne deposits in the world. So this section line 3, I'll highlight. This was drilling towards the end of last year, which really attracted a lot of attention from the specialist resource investors. Here we did a fan of 3 lines, and what we've shown here is some fantastic width and grade, 79 metres at 1.37%, including 26 at 3.3 in CPG 49. We then intersected 38 metres at 1%, including 12 at 1.73, and then 47 was the big one, 98 metres at 1.49%, including 20 metres at 5.5, and 14 metres at 7.67. What this showed us, or told us, is that Cowley Park was no longer just a basin geological interpretation. It's now something that continues at depth and is certainly open along strike. So what we can see within this 50 million tonne or 40 million tonne initial maiden envelope is a very high-grade horizontal core that sits shallow subsurface, maybe 80 or 100 metres, that could be pushing the opportunity of moving between 10 and 20 million tonnes at somewhere between 2 and 3%, which would be a fantastic high-grade deposit. that drilling is the new drilling has commenced. We're 3-4 weeks into it. It's a 10,000 metre program to begin with. We've completed almost 5,000 metres. We're going to have a little break for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we're going to start again. And what we're seeing is some very good indications that that high-grade core is extending along strike and down dip. This is an overview of Cowley Park. From plan, you'll see this is the concentrated area where we're going to be delivering that resource envelope. But what you'll see is some big circles around this magnetic geophysical work that we've done, where we're following the magnetic trends. What Marcus and Kel have worked out is that it's these trends, these differences in magnetics, that it's highlighting the diorite up against the limestone, which creates the skarn, high-grade skarn copper mineralization. You don't need to be a geologist to understand that. And it's pretty simple. We can see that Cowley is even bigger than what we're actually reporting just on the initial drilling. So we're going to be testing all these areas to really right-size Cowley Park. That won't happen until later in the year. This is giving you an indication of just how underexplored the project is between Cowley Park and the Cub Trend. So we're still in the very southern portion of the belt. There is almost 3 kilometres of untested contact being where there's potential high-grade skarn mineralisation. The Chief's Trend, this is the old Little Chief mine. This shows you the workings where they went open pit into underground. But the Middle Chief area is still an unmined resource. We believe there's 5 to 10 million tonnes there, but the whole area needs to be drilled because it's open along strike and at depth, and this could easily be another 50 million tonne deposit. It just needs the work. The Arctic Chief Trend, we've moved up the belt, now in the middle, just 2 kilometres north of the old mining area. Again, not as advanced as the other areas, but showing some pretty impressive, pretty impressive drill results initially, and a lot of rock chip samples. We think that potentially the Arctic Chief Trend could be the next cab off the rank for high-grade resources. This is why, as we're moving up the belt, we can see that this is a very attractive copper resource, high-grade copper resource play. And at the moment, we're capped at 35 million. And in reality, when you look at other Canadian companies that are more advanced, they've reported their resource inventory. They're in the valuation ranges of 300 to 600 to 1.5 billion. If you want to look at Foran Mining, Marimaca, Meridian, Arizona, Sonoran, and that's where we're trying to get to. 10,000 metres right now. There'll be another 14,000 metres over the summer, and then we'll be hopefully reporting that world-class resource at the end of the year. Thank you very much.